let's talk spring releases. There are a lot of new releases coming out that I'm very, very excited about. So today I'm going to give you a little rundown of some that I'm anticipating coming out in April, May, and June. I haven't really done a quarterly release before, so let me know if you like these. On April 2nd, we have Dragon Rider coming out by Taran Matharu. We're following an orphan captive who has been captive in this republic since his father led a failed rebellion. By day, Jai is serving the king who murdered his father, but at night he's kind of plotting. He feels like he has no hope, but when the emperor's son is engaged to an heir from another land, Jai sees his way out. He must learn the secrets, he must learn how to become a dragon rider. This sounds really interesting in my opinion. I love a good dragon book, so I'm excited to see what this one brings. On April 9th, we have a whole lot of releases. I'm going to start with Ghost Stations by S.A. Barnes. In this one, a crew must try to survive on an ancient abandoned planet. It's going to have a little bit of space horror, which I'm really excited about, and I'm really interested to see this one. I have read a previous book from this author. Then we have A Promise of Peridot, which is the sequel to A Dawn of Onyx, which is a fantasy romance by Kate Golden that I really adored and I thought was a lot of fun. In A Dawn of Onyx, we're following our main character, who is a healer. She has the gift of some magic that she's kept hidden, and when her brother ends up getting himself into some trouble, she sacrifices her life for his and goes to live with the Onyx King, who's known to be very evil, and helps him heal his people so that her brother can live. And from there, we have a little bit of a fantasy romance. Another sequel coming out that day is A Book That Broke the World, which is the sequel to A Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. In this one, we're in a magical library, and we have two characters who are learning about the ancient magic and the history of this magic. They are connecting with each other across space and time, and there's like a mystery to unfold about like what the library really is. This one had a little bit of sci fantasy in it for anyone who really likes that type of story. On April 9th, we also have The Hungry Dark by Jen Williams. This is a thriller, but Jen Williams writes fantasy, and I really like her fantasy. I don't know a lot about this one. Macabre murders plague a rural town as a scam artist psychic races to find the answers in this haunting thriller from award-winning author Jen Williams. I'm intrigued. I'm expecting it to go dark because her fantasy goes dark, and I'm really excited. I love Jen Williams as a writer. I think she writes some really interesting themes in her stories, at least in the fantasy ones, and I'm expecting that to follow through in the thriller horrors as well. I'm excited to try a different genre from her. I think that's really exciting when an author can do multiple genres. After that, we move on to April 19th, and we have the sequel to A Crown of Oaths and Curses coming out, which is called The Throne of Honor and Blood. I'm really excited for this one. This is an enemies to lovers fantasy romance that is true enemies to lovers. We're following two characters who literally hate each other that are fated to be together, and in this world, if you don't follow the fates, something really bad happens, so you want to follow the fates. But the thing is, our main character Rook is a witch, and Soren is a fae, and the fae have been hunting down the witches for hundreds of years at this point because they think the witches put a curse on them, so they literally hate each other because they're essentially killing each other. This first one had no romance in it, and so I'm really excited to see the romance blossom in the second one. I told you, true enemies to lovers. Does not happen very often. After filming this, I did find out about a few more books that I just want to touch upon lightly here. The first one is The Storm Beneath the World by Michael R. Fletcher. This comes out April 5th. I've been told this is a matriarchal society. It has 2 assassin schools, history written by the victor, magic that comes at a cost that's death. This sounds really good, really up my alley. I'm really excited about it. And then The Rose in the Shadows by Arcadia Rain, which is coming out on April 11th. This is a fantasy romance. It says it's perfect for fans of From Blood and Ash and Red Queen. It's action-packed, slow burn, filled with magic and political intrigue. The descendants of Hyrax, god of death, had long ago died out. That is until Theodora Moore showed up on the steps of the Althean Palace without any memories of her past life. She does, however, have magic in her veins and a mark on the chest that brands her as the last living descendant of Hyrax. Then there's something about a prince using her for her magic, and how Theo wants to stay alive long enough to uncover the secrets of her past. This sounds really good in my opinion as well. I'm really excited about it. Now we're moving on to May, and on the 9th I have a UK only release of the next John Mars. It's called The Family Experiment. John Mars wrote The Passengers, which I read last year and really enjoyed, so I'm excited to try more from him. Because I can still buy it when it's released in the UK, I'm still counting the UK release, but I believe it comes out in July July for the US. The world's population is soaring, creating overcrowded cities and an economic crisis, and in the UK, breaking point has arrived. A growing number of people can no longer afford to start families, let alone raise them. But for those desperate to experience parenthood, there is an alternative. For a monthly subscription fee, clients can create a virtual child from scratch who they can access via the metaverse and a VR headset. To launch this new initiative, the company behind Virtual Children has created a reality TV show. It will follow 10 couples that they raise a virtual child from birth to the age of 18, but in a condensed 9-month time period. The prize? The right to keep their virtual child, or risk it all for the chance of a real baby. I'm really intrigued by that. This is the second release I know about that has a reality TV series in it, and I love reality TV. I'm a reality TV star junkie, so I'm really excited about these because, like, if I love it in TV shows, I think I will also love it in books. So this sounds really, really cool, and I love the, like, science thrillers. Like, a sci-fi thriller is, like, where my heart lies in the thriller sphere, so I think John Mars is one for me. I'm hoping I love this. I probably will try to get it from the UK so that I can read it early. Next up, we have May 21st, which I have 2 exciting releases, one of which is the other reality TV show thriller that I was talking about. This one's by Ruth Ware. I've had hit or miss with Ruth Ware. I've loved some, disliked others. So I'm hoping that with reality TV involved, it'll be a win for me. This one is called One Perfect Couple. This follows a couple who is in a rut. They are really not doing okay. They're definitely needing some money. So they decide to try out to be a cast of a new reality TV show. It's essentially kind of like Survivor. They're whisked away to a tropical paradise and they have to survive. There are 4 other couples involved, so they have to beat out those 4 couples to get to the prize. But not long after they arrive on this deserted island, things start to go wrong. And after the first challenge happens, things get really, really, really bad. This says it is a fast-paced, spellbinding thriller rife with intrigue and characters that feel so true to life. This novel proves yet again that Ruth Ware is the queen of psychological suspense. I'm very intrigued. As I said, give me a reality TV show and my interest goes boop. The other one coming out on May 21st is How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. I love Django Wexler. Ashes of the Sun is one of my favorite trilogies. It's so incredible. Django Wexler definitely has a little bit of comedy in his writing in general, but I'm expecting this one to be very comedic, so it could or could not work for me. It's essentially Groundhog Day meets Guardians of the Galaxy. It's about a young woman who's stuck in a time loop trying to defend humanity. She has tried to be the hero over and over and over again and kill the Dark Lord, save humanity. This time, however, she goes, maybe I'll just become the Dark Lord because I'm not winning. And we watch her do this. And I'm really interested to see how this goes about. And I'm excited because I think this character is going to be someone that I'm really, really going to enjoy. And on Thursday, May 30th, the sequel to Flame and Sparrow comes out called Ash and Feather. Now, this doesn't have a cover yet, so I'm still a little nervous that this isn't the exact publication date. With indies, they can get pushed back a little bit, just depending on what the author needs, which I think is a really good thing, but it's hard when you're trying to make a releases list to not have specific dates. But Goodreads has said May 30th for a while. I was hoping there'd be a cover release already. Flame and Sparrow is set in the same world as the Song of the Marked series by the same author. However, you can read them separately. I've read the first book in each series, but not continued on at this point in the Song of the Marked, and I'm waiting for the second book of this one. We're essentially thousands of years in the past, and we're following our main character who has blamed the gods for her sister's disappearance for a really long time, and she's just been plotting revenge against the gods. And in order to do this, she decides to make a deal with the god to become one of their loyal servants in order to take the gods down from the inside. As always, not all is what it seems, and the gods might not be as brutal and murderous as she thought they were in this little fantasy romance. I'm excited because it's a duology, and so I'm excited to see how the end wraps up. There was a cliffhanger in the first book. I'm really, really excited. And I love the covers to Flame and Sparrow, so I'm really, really excited to see the cover of Ash and Feather. I also forgot that the last book in the Kingdom of Lies series comes out on May 30th. This is called A Queen That's Fierce and Deadly. This first book is A Court That's Cruel and Lovely in the series, and I absolutely love this series. It is a fun time, enemies to lovers, reluctant allies to lovers, fan row, and I binged the series really quickly, so I cannot wait to get to this 4th and final book. Now we're moving on to June, and on June 18th, we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Honestly, I don't know anything about this. I've read all of Riley Sager's releases. I've loved some, I've hated some, and I plan to continue reading them. It's from a male perspective, which has been one of the biggest complaints for Riley Sager, is that he always writes from a female. So I'm excited to see what happens from male POV. I'm really, really excited for this one. A man must contend with the long ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. Something happened and his best friend went missing on his watch, and then 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home, plagued by bad dreams and insomnia. He begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence, who I think is his friend, keeps appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? I'm intrigued. Are you? As I said, Riley Sager's so hit or miss for me, but I'm always excited to see where that book will land. It's always a wild card with him. And on June 25th, we have The Bloodguard by Cece Robson. This is a fantasy romance. This says 100 years, tens of thousands of gladiators, and today, only one will rise. Everything in the kingdom of Arrow is a lie. What? A lie. Leith of Grey thought coming to this new land and volunteering his time in the gladiator arena, vicious, bloodthirsty tournaments where only the strongest survive, would earn him enough gold to save his dying sister. Oh no. He thought there was nothing left to lose. He was wrong. And they took everything. His hope, his freedom, his very humanity. Then Leith meets Maeve, an elven royal who is everything he despises, everything he should hate, until the alluring princess offers him the one thing he needs the most. A chance to win the coveted title of Bloodguard and his freedom. But in a kingdom built on secrets and lies, hope doesn't come cheap, nor will his ultimate revenge. This sounds really good. What? This is the first time I've read this synopsis in a long time, and I was sold. This is tagged on Goodreads as new adult and young adult, so I'm gonna guess it reads probably around the same age demographic as Fourth Wing, but I loved Fourth Wing, so I'm okay with that. And last on this list for June 25th is Herald by Rob J. Hayes. Now this is book 1 of The Age of the God Eater, and also book 1 of the Trilogy of Trilogies. I'm so excited for this one. I already have access to this as I backed a Kickstarter, but I know this is going on KU on June 25th. Rob J. Hayes is doing a thing where he's releasing 3 book 1s set in the same world. And you can read them in any order, but they will be building off each other. They're essentially prequels to prequels and things like that. So Herald is the first book in the main series. 1,000 years ago, humanity's greatest heroes killed God. Across the land of Helicia, the iron grasp of the godless king is failing. Demons stalk the deep forests, monsters break free of their prisons beneath the world vein, and terrors of the old world rise again. Deep in the wintry village of Riverdon, Rhaenyra Washer lives the dreary life of a laundry girl, dreaming of excitement and adventure, but in her blood hides a secret. The angels are not all gone. When a stranger from her mother's past appears with a dire warning, Rhaenyra's peaceful life is shattered, and she's thrown headfirst into a millennial-old war between heaven and earth. Only the Herald can ring in the Fifth Age. Only the Herald can bring the god back to life. History is written in blood. The future is forged in holy fire. What? Give me now. Now, please. I already have it, but give me now for you guys. I've actually read one of the books already within this, like, trilogy of trilogies. I'm reading in chronological order. They're being publicized on KU in reverse chronological order, but I can tell you one thing. Rob J. Hayes is a master at his craft, and you will want to be reading this, because this is something incredible, and just the concept of it all, amazing. I'm not kidding you. This is the release that you should be waiting for. Obviously, I will tell you that the other releases, because it's Herald, Deathless, and Demon. Deathless and Demon come out in July on KU. I've already read Demon. I gave it 4 stars. It was great. Incredible. Let me know down below if you have any releases that I didn't cover that you think that I would like. And if you're wanting to watch the vlog where I read Demon, I will leave it on the screen right here for you to watch. I'm telling you, Rob J. Hayes is something incredible. If you just want to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a bumblebee emoji, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.